Here's what most leaders get wrong. They focus on getting better at their job when they should be mastering the leadership skills that actually get them noticed and have the impact that is expected at their level. Quick story. I recently worked with a client who's a director at a hedge fund. He's a smart guy, exceptional at his work, but he got passed over for his expected promotion to principal. Why? Because he was missing these exact leadership skills that I'm about to share. After implementing what I'm going to teach you today, he not only got his promotion, but he gained the confidence to lead at a higher level. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal 5 leadership skills that senior executives actually look for when deciding on promotions. They're not just theory. These are tested skills that have helped my clients and many other leaders from being stuck in middle management to securing positions that they never thought possible. If you're ready to stop being overlooked and start being considered for bigger opportunities, pay close attention because what I'm about to share might be the game changer that you've been looking for. Now, before I dive into these game-changing leadership skills, let me tell you why you should listen to what I'm about to share. I'm Terry McDougall, best-selling author and executive coach. After leading my own successful corporate career for 3 decades, I've spent years helping high-achieving professionals just like you break through to senior leadership positions. Here's what makes my approach different. I don't just teach theory. I've helped countless executives navigate their way from overworked middle management to confident senior leaders. We're talking about professionals who are working many, many hours, feeling stressed, feeling burnt out, and who are now effectively leading teams of 20 to more than 1,000 with balance and significantly higher compensation and satisfaction. What I've discovered with these clients is that there's a clear pattern to getting promoted. It's not about working harder. You're probably already working as hard as you possibly can. This is about mastering specific leadership skills that most people either don't know or are implementing incorrectly. So let's dive into these 5 leadership skills that actually help you move up in your career. Skill number 1. The first leadership skill that senior executives look for when they're looking to promote someone, it might surprise you. It's strategic delegation. But here's the thing. I'm not talking about just passing off tasks to your team. Let me tell you about what most people get wrong about delegation. They think it's about giving away work that they don't want to do or they don't have enough time for. That's exactly why they're still stuck in their current level. Here's what I teach my clients. Strategic delegation is about developing your team while showcasing your abilities to drive results through others. Listen, you are only going to move up as fast as you develop the people under you. Let me give you a real example. One of my clients, Rose, was working super long days, drowning in tasks, taking work home with her, thinking constantly about what would improve her leadership potential. But her boss actually saw this as a red flag because at her senior level, success is not about how much you personally do. It's about how much you can accomplish through others. So here's your action step. This week, identify 3 high visibility projects that you're currently handling. For each one, ask yourself, who on my team could grow from focusing on this? And then, this is crucial, create a clear delegation plan that includes what success looks like, key milestones for check-ins, and how you'll publicly recognize their contribution. Listen carefully. When you delegate this way, you're not just freeing up your time. You're demonstrating 2 critical leadership qualities, developing talent and thinking strategically about resource allocation and use. These are exactly what gets you noticed at the executive level. Listen, you are entrusted with resources and your job is to get the highest return on investment of those resources. So think in terms of ROI. The second leadership skill is what I'll call influential communication. Let me be crystal clear. This is not about being the loudest voice in the room or having the fanciest presentation. Here's what most managers get completely wrong about communication. They think influence comes from their title or their expertise. But let me tell you something that I've seen repeatedly with my executive clients. Real influence comes from understanding the political landscape of your organization and learning to navigate it strategically. Let me share a quick example. I worked with Brett, a director at a biotech startup, who was frustrated because his great ideas weren't getting traction. He had the technical expertise, but here's what was missing. He wasn't building the right relationships before presenting his ideas. After we shifted his approach to first understanding stakeholder priorities and building connections, he moved up 2 levels to SVP in just 2 years. Awesome. He likes his job too. Here's your immediate action step. Before your next big presentation or proposal, do what I call the influence mapping exercise. List your key stakeholders, write down what each person cares about most, identify who influences their decisions, and then align your communications to address their specific priorities. Listen, this isn't about playing politics. I think politics is just another word for influence, and you need influence if you're going to be a leader. It's about being strategic and how you communicate your value. And here's the thing, when you master this skill, you're not just sharing ideas, you're positioning yourself as someone who understands the bigger picture. And that's what gets you noticed for promotion, because when you understand that, you're able to have the impact that's expected at the senior leader level. The third leadership skill is what separates the mere manager from the true leaders: results-focused communication. And here's the thing, this is not what most people think it is. Let me tell you where I see even smart professionals mess up on this. They flood their presentations with data, metrics, endless PowerPoint slides. But here's what I teach my clients. At the senior level, it is not about showing all your work. It's about communicating the impact of your work and doing it appropriately for your audience. I recently worked with a client who was a senior manager who was struggling to get visibility with the C-suite. She was doing outstanding work, but her communication style was burying the headline. Here's what we did. We completely flipped her approach. Instead of starting with the process and ending with the results, we led with the business impact and worked backward from that. Within 6 months, she was pulled into executive meetings regularly and fast-tracked for promotion. Here's your action step. I want you to use what I call the 3-layer impact method. Layer 1, lead with your business impact first. Layer 2, connect it to the company priorities. What are the objectives? How's this going to support it? And then level 3, then and only then, share your process. Listen carefully. When senior leaders ask how a project is going, they don't want a detailed status report. They want to know how your work is moving the business forward. Master this skill and you'll instantly stand out from 90% of your peers who are still stuck in the weeds. Skill number 4. The fourth leadership skill might sound obvious, but here's what makes it powerful: strategic team development. And let me be crystal clear about something. This isn't about being everyone's friend or even having the happiest team. Here's what most managers get completely wrong. They focus on individual performance metrics and miss the bigger picture. Let me share something that I've seen transform careers. Senior executives aren't just looking for your team's results. They're watching how you build and evolve your team. Let me give you a real example. Kim, one of my clients that I've mentioned before, she was leading a team of 50. She's the one that was working 70 plus hours a week. I mean, that's literally unsustainable. She was drowning in operational details, thinking that that's what leadership meant. But here's what we did. We shifted her focus from managing tasks to developing team capabilities. Within 3 months, she cut her hours to under 50 while her department's productivity actually increased. Here's your immediate action step. Implement what I call the leadership multiplier method. Identify your team's current strengths and gaps, create development opportunities that align with the business goals, build accountability systems that don't all rely on you, and document measurable improvements in team capability. Listen, when you can show your executives that you don't just manage a team, but that you build and develop one, you separate yourself from every other manager who's just trying to hit their numbers. leaders. The fifth leadership skill that gets you promoted is what I call executive decision making. But here's the thing, this isn't about making more decisions, it's about making decisions that showcase your leadership potential. Let me tell you where I see most professionals go wrong. They either wait for consensus from everyone or they make decisions in isolation. Both are career killers. Here's what I teach my clients. True executive decision making is about balancing speed and stakeholder buy-in. Here's your action step. Use my 3-point decision framework. Define the business impact first. Identify the key risks and your mitigation plans, and get input from critical stakeholders, but don't wait for unanimous agreement. That will probably never happen. Now listen carefully. When you make decisions this way, you're not just solving problems. You're demonstrating to senior leadership that you can think and act at their level. They can rely on you. And here's what most people don't realize. It's often how you make decisions, not just what you decide, that gets you noticed for promotion. Now, if you've been taking notes on these 5 leadership skills, you already know that they can dramatically accelerate your path to promotion. But here's the thing, knowing the skills is just the first step. The real magic happens when you start to implement them. Let me be crystal clear about something I've learned from working with hundreds of leaders. Everyone's leadership journey is unique. The exact strategies that will work for you depend on your specific situation, your organization's culture, and the challenges that you're currently facing. That's exactly why I want to invite you to join me for a free leadership session. In this one-on-one call, we'll identify the leadership skills that will create the biggest impact in your current role. We'll uncover the hidden barriers that might be holding you back from promotion, and we'll create a clear action plan tailored to your specific situation. Listen, if you're serious about accelerating your leadership journey, and if you're ready to stop hoping for a promotion and start making it happen, click on the link below to schedule your free strategy session. The spots are limited and they fill up quickly, so don't wait. I'm Terry McDougall, the secret weapon for rising leaders. Hope to talk to you soon.